I'm not certain because I haven't done the scientific research on it to know if this can work for everybody else out there. But I'm gonna tell you, I suffer from MS. I have extreme neuralgic pain in my lower extremities. I'm in pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And then I go to see this doctor. I've had pain in my feet. I've struggled with my balance. So Dr. Erica sent me to see a man who I will tell you now 12 days ago, and there's not a person who knows me who will not confirm this if you just ask them. Everybody who sees me, I am walking differently. My pain is less. I have already regained strength in my left leg. My left leg has dropped because I found out that my pelvis was tilted. It's dropped back down. They are now the same length. It's the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. Take a look at this.
Atlas Orthogonal is a specialized chiropractic program which utilizes an instrument to gently realign the atlas vertebra into proper position to rebalance the entire spine. The atlas is the first bone in the spine, and they call it the atlas because of Greek mythology, Atlas holding the world on its shoulders. And your atlas basically holds your world on its shoulders. Okay, Montel, come on up for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we're doing is examining Montel for the C1 and C2 nerve root compression. These are nerves located right at the base of the skull. When you have a misalignment, as the head deviates on the first bone in the neck, it mechanically compresses the nerve roots at the base of the skull, and that causes you a lot of dysfunction. We've taken x-rays of Montel. The atlas has shifted up, and that compresses a very important area in his nervous system, the brainstem area. What we want to do is gently realign the head back over the neck so we can have proper transmission between his brain and his body. The instrument looks a little scary, but it's actually very, very non-invasive, and the patient doesn't feel it. So when you sit the patient back up, you can already feel instantaneously less pressure on the nerves at the base of the skull. If we can gently realign the head on top of the atlas, the body automatically starts to respond.
I was a boxer for a period of time. I was a martial artist for a long period of time. I played football when I was in school. One of the biggest injuries that most men are walking around with who played football is probably this. Your head's off because you've been crashing heads and banging heads. If you ever participated in sports that were rugged sports where you fell off of something, hit your head, had a concussion, anything like that, chances are, look at this, chances are that's just from a blow one person to another football-wise. Think about all the little boys that are playing Pop Warner football. Think about all the little kids that are playing in martial arts classes and instructors allow them to take a kick to the head. That blow to the head, though it may not knock them out, may not knock them down, may have shifted.
But you know what else? What about women, the aerobics that we do? How about just a little motor vehicle accident? Anything, any kind of trauma. Look at the neck, how thin it is, how little it is, and how heavy a piece of brain it supports.
Right, your head weighs, what, 15 pounds?
Well, when you think about it, it's really very complicated, the head and the neck. Because if you were going to design the body, you wouldn't put what controls your body way out in this sphere and have this little pathway to control it.
Right.
So it's susceptible to injury.
Chiropractic is based on the premise that a properly functioning spinal column is a necessary component of good health. Your spinal column is made up of 24 movable bones separated by cushioning intervertebral discs that act as shock absorbers for the spine. Just as the skull provides the protective covering around the brain, your spinal column gives protection to your spinal cord. This bony architecture provides the protective support of the nervous system while allowing movement necessary for your everyday activities.
It looked like a perfect run up until about 1,000 feet.
At 320 miles per hour, the rear wing broke off. The driver's pod separated from the car and repeatedly smashed into the ground. Kara's heart stopped when she saw the crash.
Initially, he was totally unconscious. From what I could tell, he was not breathing. He basically looked completely lifeless. I thought he was dead.
Tony had to be cut out of the roll cage, and to everyone's amazement, he was still alive. Kara yelled that she loved him as he was rushed to a waiting helicopter. It looked like Tony would survive, but they didn't know if he would ever be able to handle a race car. His doctors couldn't identify what was causing his pain.
He was experiencing spins at night, so we knew there was some head injury that we had not addressed yet.
Then, a friend suggested a chiropractor. Tony's leg and bruises had healed, but he was still incapacitated.
When Tony first came to the office, he was complaining about having headaches. He had discomfort in his neck, in his middle back, in his lower back.
By taking x-rays and doing specific calculations, Dr. Marshall Dickholz determined the exact adjustment that needed to be made to Tony's top vertebra. And after several treatments, Tony Schumacher finally felt like himself again. The drag racing champion who'd survived one of racing's most stunning crashes was on the road to recovery at last.
It was amazing. It's one of those things where I sat up, everything was gone. No pain, color was back in my face, and I thought to myself, it's like magic.
It really could have been a career-ending injury.
Amazingly, just 1 month after his cast came off, Tony went back to racing.
People say, how do you get back in a car? I get in the car because I love the good times. Is there risk? Absolutely. But winning, being around a team of people that are capable of doing something other people can't do is just awesome. To me, that means way, way more than the risk.
4 years later, Tony Schumacher was again crowned the Top Fuel World Champion.
I'm still going to drive for a while. I love what I do.
Doctors aren't quite sure how it happened, but a Dubuque man can see clearly tonight after being blind in one eye for more than a decade. KCRG TV9's Dubuque reporter Katie Wiedemann says it happened after a trip to the chiropractor.
12 years ago, Doug Harkey's left eye suddenly stopped working.
Just woke up one day and I didn't have no vision in my left eye.
And as quickly as he lost his sight, he got it back.
He just did his normal adjustment that he normally does, and voila.
After a routine visit to chiropractor Tim Stackis, Harkey says a miracle happened.
My blind eye started watering after I left there, and it watered for like 45 minutes straight, and got my right eye watering. I went to wipe my right eye and I could see out of my left again.
Dr. Stackis said the bones in Harkey's neck were out of alignment.
That interferes with the messages and energy that the brain sends down to the rest of the body.
Harkey now has the depth perception he'd been missing, just what he needs as he's about to walk down the aisle with his fiancée next month.
I'm not used to him not running into things or stepping on our feet.
Dr. Stackis and Harkey were both surprised by what happened.
He has miracle hands, I guess.
Was it a miracle? No one knows for sure how to explain it. Harkey's just glad it happened. In Dubuque, Katie Wiedemann, KCRG TV9 News.
Life is more fun when you share it with the ones you love. But when you are in pain, even the shared times are hard to enjoy. If an injury has interrupted your lifestyle, chiropractic care can help. Chiropractic adjustments allow maximum body function, helping you get back to the things that mean the most. Because you love your family, because you weren't meant to live in pain. Because you care about your life, we care about your health.